The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you and thank you for coming to the to another edition of QuikStor University's webinar on some of our more advanced features and new products. And we're really excited to have you here today and share with you our new insurance module and the modifications we've made to it to give you more flexibility and the ability to modify your insurance coverage based on your insurance provider. Now, we do want to point out that the changes we've allowed you to make are something that you will have full control over, but do need to verify that they fall in line with what you have set up with your insurance provider. If you're not currently offering insurance to your tenants, there are a number of options in the industry, and we have put together a list of partners that we do offer the insurance integration for. You can find this list here actually by just going to QuikStor.com and then selecting the partners page right here, and you'll see the third row down is going to be our insurance integration. You can click on any one of these links to one of our insurance providers, and they will take you directly to their website where you can gather more information about them, their plans, and find one that best meets the needs of your tenants and whatever profit sharing they plan on offering, and making sure that that is in line with what meets your needs as well. But with that being said, we're not going to be focusing on any one particular insurance provider, as the features that we've added will work for them all and does require you to essentially build the policies that you are going to be offering through the provider. What this does is this frees you to not be restricted by our updates and changes. If the insurance companies want to change their rates, or if you want to as well, you can do that without needing a new release from us like has been required in the past. So we are really excited about this, excited about what this will allow you to offer your customers and allowing you the freedom to make those changes. And so we'll go ahead and jump right into how you can do that. To get to the insurance setup module that we've created, you basically need to get to the change site setup area. Now, if you're using the modern view, that can be done going to settings and then going to site setup right here. You can also click the QuikStor button up in the top and bring down the change site setup screen from here. But once you're here, the insurance setup button is going to be shown right here in your software. Now, this will only be available if you have the change site setup feature enabled for your username. So owner level access is, of course, will have this available to them, and managers that do have access to change site setup will have the ability to modify these fields. So that's how that would be restricted. You can turn that off by disabling the ability to change site setup. But once we get into the insurance setup module, you'll see that it is very self-explanatory from here, and it'll look very familiar to the insurance policies that have been hard-coded in the past, as you have an insurance or a coverage amount, a dollar amount, a percentage of coverage in the event of a loss, the rate that the customer will pay per month, and then you have two different options for compensation from the insurance company. We have a retention percentage and then an admin fee, which would just be a flat amount, both of which are completely customizable, but again, completely dependent on the agreement you have set up with your insurance provider. So we definitely want you to make sure that you have that set up in according to the agreement with them. And then you have a number of days after delinquency for the cancellation to kick in, and then a number of days after delinquency for a notice to be sent out that they will have their policy canceled. An effective date, pretty self-explanatory, and then, of course, if the policy is active. But what I want to show you is how to modify or edit these and also create a new policy and build it from the ground up, if you will. What I'll go ahead and do is I'll delete these top two ones, and we'll go ahead and recreate them so you can see how that is done. But very simply, when you do get this module from us, this will all be blank, and you start it off by selecting Insert Record. And again, you will need to just build these exactly to the specifications that you will be providing the coverage from your insurance provider. So we're going to go ahead and start off with a $1,000 coverage policy. And so we'll just use the fields down here below to put that in. And put in 1,000. And then the coverage percentage, again, this is going to be 100%. So we'll go ahead and put in 100. And the rate for this is going to be a $6 charge. And so every month that the customer is using this insurance policy, they will have another $6 added on to their monthly rent, which you then collect from them and can pass on the appropriate amount to the insurance provider at the end of the month. Now again, these next two fields of retention and admin fee will depend on the agreement with your provider and which insurance company you are offering. But depending on which plan you have, you can set up the appropriate compensation. So there can be a retention that you would keep, or just a flat admin fee. In this case, we'll just go ahead with a retention. We'll leave it at 10%, and we'll leave the admin fee 0. Now, for this particular one, we'll go ahead and set this effective date. Now, you can set it at any date in the future. It doesn't make any sense to set it in the past, but you can set it in the future, and it will only become active at that particular time or after that time. But we'll leave it on today's date for our purposes here. The next settings, once you put in a couple, as I've already done, these will start to just appear the same way, considering that they should have the same policy, cancellation policy across the board for all different coverage plans that you offer. But you can make modifications if you wanted to, if you needed to. But it's just as simple as typing in the information. So you have the number of days after delinquency to actually cancel the policy, and then down below that is when the latent or the pre-cancellation letter will print out for the insurance policy. And last but not least, we do have the active checkbox, which will basically make this insurance available or not when you are going to start insurance for either an existing tenant or a new customer. But by checking this box, you will essentially disable or enable the insurance module from being offered, or the insurance, that particular insurance plan. I do also want to point out that we have put in a little bit of helpful tips for you. When you put your mouse over the any fields on this table, it will pop up with a little help tip and a basic description of what this this field is for. Like here, the coverage is the insurance amount provided to the tenant and the dollar amount, and the coverage percentage, how much of the loss will be covered. And so every field does have its own little write-up in case you do get confused. But it is pretty self-explanatory. So we're going to go ahead and add another policy. We're going to go ahead and create a $2,000 coverage policy. And again, it'll be 100%. Oops, not 1,000%. And this one we're going to charge $8 for this. And we'll leave it at the 10% retention. All these other settings will stay the same. And we're going to go ahead and click Apply to close this out. So with that being done, we've created our insurance policies, and so we can now offer those to a customer. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Exit, and we've done that. Now, I want to show you, you have two options for starting insurance for a customer. You can start it on move-in, or you can start it for a customer that is already existing. And so if they come in and they decide they want to purchase insurance, you can always do that. But we'll go ahead and I'll show you the first part of how it's done for a customer that's moving in. So we'll go ahead and select a vacant unit. I'm going to go ahead and select Move In. Just type in a last name here. And we'll go over here to the Financial tab where it will show our where we're going to take our rent payment. And as you see, the third option down here is going to be our insurance. Now you'll see that this is the same exact insurance plans that we just created in our insurance setup tool. And so they're already here, and we can select whichever insurance we want to charge this customer for and then have the appropriate coverage assigned to them. And we'll just simply select Start Insurance, and we're done. Now, what this does is it creates a new total monthly amount for them. Obviously, their rent is going to be $55, and their insurance is going to be 12 for a total of 67. Now, depending on your prorate settings or how if you're first of the month or anniversary, if you don't prorate, then it won't matter. But the software will automatically prorate both the rent and insurance charge for you. And it's important to note the policy for your insurance provider on proration. Most allow prorate to start, but not to move out. because it would charge a full month, or it would need to be for a full month payment at the end of their stay. But for our purposes here, we'll just leave this as is. We'll just prorate them to the 1st of next month, and then we'll have a full month going after that. So the totals will be listed down here. We'll go ahead and select OK to complete this move-in. So we're going to take a total of $98 for all the rent and insurance, and then a $15 security deposit for a total of $113.27. I'm not going to print the lease addendum, but we'll go ahead and preview the receipt. We're going to have them take cash just to keep it simple. But we'll preview the receipt here so you can see what this looks like. And again, if you already are offering insurance, this is no big change from what you've already done. The big change is in the customization that you can then change the insurance rates that you're offering based on any changes that the insurance company would be making. But you can see very easily their insurance for what they've paid for, or the rent is going to be this amount. Now this includes $55 for a full month, and then also the prorated amount for moving them to the 1st. And same thing with the insurance. So it's a prorated amount and then also a full month's rent, and then the security deposit. So this is their total payment today. Then down below it is going to give them the breakdown of when their next rent is due and what that will be and what that payment will consist of. And as you can see, you see the full month's rent, insurance listed right there, and their total of $67. So very easy, very self-explanatory use of the product there, and that's what it's like to move someone in with insurance. Now I want to go ahead and take it one step farther. We'll select a customer here that is not on insurance, and we're going to go ahead and start insurance for them. Now to do this, you're going to go to Tools, and you're going to click the Start or Cancel Insurance button. And it's going to bring up a little message saying, this unit has no insurance, and then use the following form to choose insurance for this customer. Again, what we just created in our insurance setup tool, this person is going to be set up with a $6 monthly premium for $1,000 of coverage, and we'll go ahead and select Start Insurance. Now, just like on the move-in, it will prorate insurance to line them up with their paid-to date, and so this particular payment is going to be quite small, of $2.80, but they can go ahead and pay us that right now, and you can see that it'll show you that that will cover everything. And it also gives them a breakdown, much like on the other receipt. But the only thing that has been paid for today was the insurance payment. So now that customer is set up on the insurance plan through whichever provider you are offering. So the other thing that I want to point out is that you can set up your insurance to be included in a special or a discount that you are offering. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and jump to the specials and revenue center. We're going to go ahead and pull up our specials and discounts. Now I've created a couple that include some insurance specials, but I want to walk you through how to create one so you can see where it is done. But when you basically would just select new, it's going to allow you to create a new special or discount, and any of these have the ability to add insurance to them. But we'll go ahead and select we'll go ahead and use this top one here, and we'll go ahead and make it a $25 prorate no matter what unit you get to put you through to the 1st, and we'll go ahead and go next, and we'll select today for the start date. This special is not going to end, and we're going to go ahead and select the checkbox right here for the more advanced options. That is going to be where our insurance, our add insurance button will be. So we'll go ahead and select next, and you can see right here is going to be the option to add insurance. Now you do have the options here to select which insurance plan you want to offer, and so in this particular case we're going to offer the $12. So when you sign up for this, you are automatically enrolled in the insurance policy, and so that's obviously a benefit for you as the storage operator, because that will start another recurring revenue stream for you. But it's also good for the customer because their belongings will be fully covered. So with that checked, we're going to go ahead and select next. It's going to take us to this page, just going to verify what special we just created. and we'll select Finish. And so there is our $25 prorate. Now, what we have not done is assigned any unit types to that, but we'll go ahead and select our these couple larger units down here at the bottom, and we'll click Assign those specials, and that'll be done. So with that being done, we'll go ahead and close out of all these, and I want to show you real quickly what it's like to move in a customer with a special that includes insurance. It's very easy, no different than using just a regular move-in special, but we'll go ahead and right-click and select Move Someone In. And again, we'll type in last name. That's a different person. Okay, go over here to the Financial tab. And what I'm going to do is, now again, I've created a couple of specials here. Here's the $25 one that I just made, and you can see how this plays out. It's going to prorate the insurance, and then the rest of the $25 is going to be for going towards rent. So this will be their first payment is going to be $40, including a security deposit, but $25 covers the entire prorate. So that's a good deal for this customer. And then next month it will revert back to the full amount. But any other specials that I've included here, you know, $29.95 move-in with a free prorate, that'll show in here. And now it's a free prorate on the rent, not on the insurance, and so that will still charge. But you get the idea that you can add in that insurance module or that insurance policy on these specials, and so they can be part of the added benefit that you would then offer to your customer. So very easy to make those changes. Taking someone off of insurance that is already on insurance is very easy as well. Again, you would do the same thing that we touched on a second ago with canceling insurance or starting insurance when they're an existing customer. You go to Tools, and you're going to click on the Start/Cancel Insurance button. And now this is going to bring up a good point that usually insurance is not canceled manually. It will cancel automatically based on the settings that you put in there, based on their delinquency. So if they're delinquent past 30 days, it will cut them off. But if you do need to cancel it manually, this is how it can be done. And it's going to go ahead and ask you this question. Now, the answer to this question does depend on what policy you have in place with your insurance provider. Sometimes they allow the prorate upon move-out, most of the times not. So in this case, we're not going to. And then it's going to generate a cancellation notice that will pop up right here. And again, very straightforward, basically just saying that it was canceled manually at their request or at the discretion of the manager. And then it'll give them a breakdown of what it was for, and if they want to sign back up for it, what the steps are to do that. Pretty self-explanatory. So that pretty much covers the new insurance module and the customization that we've added. Just a real quick run through getting back to the insurance setup, which again is only available if you have access to the Change Site Setup settings. You're going to go up here to Change Site Setup, and then right here in the middle next to your insurance information, you're going to have the insurance setup where you can modify, you can create new policies, disable policies if you need to, but you know, modifying them is just as easy. If you needed to increase the the dollar amount, jumping up from $8 to $9, you can do that, and then simply click Apply, and that will change everything going forward. But we've given you those changes in that flexibility so that you can provide a better product to your customers, stay more in line with any insurance policy changes and what your insurance provider might want to do, and no longer be limited by our updates. We are in the final stages of the beta testing of this module, and we are expecting a release to you guys publicly very soon. And so we would love to start answering questions about this if you do have them once it is being used. But if you do have any questions following today, please feel free to email webinar@QuikStor.com. You can also email sales@QuikStor.com with any questions whatsoever. We are looking forward to answering those questions and also posting this webinar in the next few days for your review. Thank you so much for your time today. and we look forward to helping you in the future. And again, thank you for being the most important part of QuikStor. Have a great day today.